We're back to New York to review Vice President Shettima's address to the United Nations General Assembly yesterday, where he highlighted four major issues that are of great importance to Nigeria. My guest is Joe Femi Dagunro, international business and policy analyst, and is former president of the Nigeria German Business Group. Mr. Dagunro, thank you for joining us. We had difficulties connecting with you earlier. You followed global diplomacy for years. Listening to Vice President Shettima's speech yesterday, what struck you the most about Nigeria's message to the world? It appears we're having difficulties connecting with Mr. Dagunro, but recall that the Vice President argued yesterday.
And he made it clear that, listen, we can work together and we should be able to make the world a better place. You know, it's a sign of bold and courage to say, listen, Nigeria has to be, given the right place. When he spoke about having a seat at the Security Council, it's not just about Africa must have a seat, it's about Nigeria has to be there. And that's bold, that's courageous, that's something real that you can see. And he spoke on so many other things, but he's recognizing the two states, that is the Palestinians having their own and the Israel having their own. These are bold statements, clearly to the yes, that this is who Nigeria is, this is where we are. And those are the things that are really interesting. But, diplomatic community, it might take some time for all these things, to really come to fruition. And he said that as well. And when you look at it, it is just that same slogan of, our local, it's our turn to be there. You cannot just be presiding over Africa, and Africa is not where to be found in the Security Council. So it's a good message to the world. I believe that in terms of security, he said a lot that the world should sit back and think of us. So we're not going to just go down just like the other ones. I think he has delivered a speech that most leaders, especially African leaders and the global leaders, will be interested, and they will review and see that, yes, we are now back in the global stage.
The Vice President, as you mentioned, did argue that Nigeria deserves a permanent seat on the UN Security Council, pointing to our population, peacekeeping record, and even the role we play in regional stability. Critics, however, say Nigeria's domestic challenges, when you think of insecurity, corruption, and governance lapses, undermine that claim. Do you think the demand is realistic at this time, or at best aspirational?
Well, if you say aspirational, maybe that would be, but there's no time that you have to waste, or you have to wait until you say, if I have to wait until I sort out my own problem before I can say this is the right place to be, then tell me, where in this world that you don't have one problem or the other? That's not, even in America. So, and then you're saying that, look, you can't be dictating to us. We need to be there. If you want to make us work with you, get us on board. And that is very crucial. We can't wait until we sort out all the problems we have in Nigeria to play a role in the global community. No, we can't. So whatever we have, as much as the government is moving on, tackling these issues, let me tell you one thing. The only thing that I think the government has to do more is to enlighten the citizens on what is going on. And not that the citizens will be thinking, oh, maybe in another 48 hours, everything will become normal. No, it can't. So the government of Nigeria should be able to think about that and to enlighten the populace and to make sure that this thing will work. But maybe in another 2-3 years, some of these things you begin to enjoy it. And that is what this government is saying. Tell me how many of those people who are criticizing him can come out and say, this is what I will have done. None. It's easier to criticize, but to say, what will you have done? There will be mistakes made, there will be errors committed, and at the end of the day, let's continue to correct the errors and to move ahead and do things that will make the citizens of the country have a peaceful life.
Let us touch on the issue of sovereign debt. He proposed nothing short of a new global mechanism, what he called an International Court of Justice for Money. Some African countries support this, but creditors in the West and Asia see it as being too radical. From your experience in global business, is this a kind of bold thinking the continent needs now, or does it risk alienating us or alienating partners that we apparently still depend on?
I think the first thing is this: we shouldn't be relying on taking loans from them, from the Western countries. We shouldn't even be going there because we have the resources that can produce and that can make us the wealthy. So why should we be going to beg? All we need to do is to get our acts together and make sure that we make more money for the people. Look at the mineral resources we have in Nigeria. Look at the other places in the world, and look at other places in Africa as well. Now we are stepping into the right direction, and there will be stumbling blocks, no doubt. There will be forces that wouldn't want us to even be there. Yes, but look, if you give us some loans and you are giving us a good credit facility to make these things work, and at some point we wouldn't be coming to take loans from you. So this is what I said. This statement is a bold statement and very courageous of the president and some other presidents in Africa saying, look, it's our turn to be part of these things. You cannot continue to give us loan. I don't support this loan thing. But yes, you need it in order to build the systems that you want, in order to build the democracy that you want. It's an ongoing thing. What Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president, has started, if given the fact that other regimes or other administration, they've done about 5 or 10%. It won't be like this. So this man is starting from the scratch to lay a good foundation. And I tell you what, in another 5 to 10 years or 20 years, we'll begin to see how this thing, we are feeling the pain. I'm feeling the pain as well. But in another 10 to 20 years or more, you begin to see the reality of the suffering that will bring joy into the hearts of all the people.
10 to 20 years appears sounds like a long time, though, because the president has an election in 2027. And, it will be a referendum on the welfare of many Nigerians, or so, critics like to think. But we have to go now. We have just about 30 seconds. I was hoping I could get your thought on what perhaps...
Not all these plans can manifest within the next few years. Some will take more than 5 years. Some will be immediate. And there will be short-term, long-term, and mid-term. So I'm not saying some of these programs we're already feeling it. Some of these programs you will feel it next year, and some you will take a longer time. So it is on how accurate we plan and we execute. The problem is not lack of idea. The problem is the ideas are there. The opportunities are there. It's the execution. And then we have to begin to fight this corruption in the real sense of it. And it's very interesting. And it's very good for our people as well.
Joe Femi Dagoro, International Business and Policy Analyst, thank you so much for talking to us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
And that's our show today, everyone. Remember, you can watch it again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Okuntoye.